Today we are celebrating the World Heart Day.
Son of immigrants from Egypt. I'm a first-generation American, and
Good afternoon, dear professors, cardiologists, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you all in our beautiful country, Egypt, and to this prestigious event, our 46th Annual International Congress of the Egyptian Society of Cardiology, CardioEgypt 2019. Months of planning and hard work have been going on to guarantee 4 days of enlightening scientific breakthroughs, mind-blowing cases, training sessions, intriguing talks, and not to forget, some well-deserved sightseeing in this beautiful country. You've come from different continents and countries, and we assure you it will be worthy of your trip. Without further ado, I'd like to give the time for our professors and mentors to give you a glimpse of what we'll be seeing through these 4 days. Allow me to present our first speaker, CardioEgypt Chairman, Professor Hussam Andil.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I really thought a lot of what I'm going to tell you this afternoon. My talk is simple. It is welcome, thank you, and what's new. I had a piece of paper in my pocket. I decided at the last minute, I'm not going to read what I had in this paper. I felt I'm better speak from my heart, as I used to do all my life, and I hope this will touch your hearts. So I talk about welcome. Welcome, in my eyes, to the best country in the world. I always, when I travel, I say, I'm from the best country in the world. Maybe as Egyptian, I feel that, but I think we have very strong reasons. We are 7,000 years old. As a people, when we work together, we do very good things. But I'm here to welcome our very distinguished speakers from all over the world, especially Europe, USA, and Canada. I also welcome our esteemed guests from the Arab area and from Africa. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. I also would like to thank my colleagues from Cairo University. And I would like to call my friend and colleague, Professor Mohammed Abdelghani. Please come stand next to me, Professor Hisham Salah. Mohammed Abdelghani is the co-chairman of this meeting. And Professor Hisham Salah, please come and stand here. There are other names, because this is not an individual effort. Dr. Hisham is here, Professor Hisham Salah. So there are so many other names. Professor Magdi Abdel Hamid, our society chairman, is professor in our department. He really did a great effort. Without his efforts, I think this meeting will not be the same. What's new? For those who attended the competition this morning, there was a competition between Cairo University and Ain Shams University, and it was moderated by Rikni Jumura. And it really was a fantastic educational event. Ain Shams won 10-9, and I congratulate Ain Shams. I'm from Cairo University, but I'm happy for them. We are all trying to make our young generation compete in the right way, and in the same time have an educational event that will be useful for all of us. We have pop-up questions, not yet, you didn't see it yet, but we have questions that will rise during the meeting that will bring your attention to important points. When the tempo of the meeting gets down, these questions will come. We have hands-on sessions in echo, cardiac CT, cardiac MRI, so many things that we try to make new this time. So far for the English, I would like to أحيي زملائي وإخواني وأشكرهم على تشريفهم من كل البلاد العربية ومن مصر، وأنا عارف الميتنج ده كل الناس من مصر بيجوا فيه. أنا رئيس المؤتمر، بس رئيس المؤتمر بالاسم بس، أنا واحد من حضراتكم، وحضراتكم كلكم أصحاب المؤتمر ده. أنا متشرف إن أنا أعطيت الفرصة دي من جمعية القلب المصرية، وبشكر جمعية القلب المصرية جزيل الشكر. الحقيقة كل الناس العادلين هيقولوا إن الجمعية أنجزت وعملت إنجازات يعني الحقيقة مذهلة لكل اللي بيشوفها. الوقت والتاريخ هيشهد عليها ويقدر يحدد بالظبط القيمة بتاعت الإنجازات دي. أنا دايما بثق في الشباب بتوعنا، وبحب دايما إن إحنا نديهم فرصة. أنا مش هطول عن كده، أنا بشكر حضراتكم مرة تانية، وبتمنى لكم مؤتمر موفق، وأرجو من الدكتور محمد إن هو يقول كلمة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First, I'd like to thank you all for joining us in the 46th annual meeting of our Egyptian Society of Cardiology. I would like to thank my colleagues in the organizing committee. We have been doing a tremendous effort to bring this event into light. I wish you all very successful meeting. Wish to see you every year. Thank you.
Professor Hisham is the secretary of the meeting. I would like to listen for a few minutes from him.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this great scientific meeting, the biggest scientific event in Egypt, CardioEgypt, the 46th edition, 2019. I'd like to thank Professor Hussam Andil, the head of the department, and actually the whole department for collaborating to show this event in this way. I'm very pleased as well to have such an honorable speakers coming from different parts of the world. We actually enjoyed the event very much, and I'm very pleased as well to have such a great audience, and actually most of the lecture rooms are actually full, as you can see here, and people are trying to come in to enjoy such scientific event. The caliber of the speakers, the chairpersons, and the type of lectures that have been given and the workshops that are ongoing is actually quite inspiring, and I'm sure that everyone who attended, or at least I hope so, will actually have a significant benefit. Thank you again, and thank you for the audience.
So thank you, and I wish for you a very successful meeting. I cannot thank enough Barbara, I cannot thank enough Michael Ballantyne. You really made a huge difference in our meeting. The whole group, you have seen Professor Mijimura, Carol Wan is going to speak in a very short time. Dr. Di Maria has given fantastic talks. His presence is huge. He was with me in the breakfast sessions. So I would like for everybody to take the fruits of this meeting and at the same time enjoy being with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Hussam Andil, Professor Mohammed Abdel Ghani, and Professor Hisham Salah. And now we welcome to the stage President of the European Society of Cardiology, Professor Barbara Cassidy.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here to represent the European Society of Cardiology. As you know, the mission of the society is to reduce the burden of cardiovascular disease, and we take this extremely seriously. We have been doing this by our publication, the guidelines, our education activities, but you will see in a few years there will be a greater focus on research and quality of care, on health policy, and on advocacy for and with patients and professionals. Why that? Because we think we, as a community, we have achieved a huge amount, but there is a lot that still needs to be done. These are the figures on premature cardiovascular death in Egypt, and you can see that although progress have been made, I mean, considering that the first part of the graph is probably not reflecting the whole of the reality, but the latest part is, there is still a trend towards reduction, but we know that we can go much lower than that. And so there is still a lot that needs to be done, particularly both in the care of our acute patients, but also in prevention. And let me remind you that Egypt is the largest cigarette market in the Arab world, and that an estimate 20% of Egyptians regularly use tobacco products. And this is something that really, for which the community of doctors and nurses and health professionals really can do a lot to dissuade patients to continue smoking, sometimes even after they had a heart attack. More insidious is the creeping increase in obesity, and this is particularly true for women in Egypt, and it is also true that this starts at a very early age, with teenagers now 3 times more likely to be obese or overweight than 20 years ago. This is, of course, is bringing then rising the prevalence of diabetes. So all of this has to be at the forefront of us as a society and you as professional. And the society, as I said, is doing a lot more in the advocacy activities. Is advocating with the regulators to be able to undertake more and more streamlined randomized clinical trials to produce the evidence that we need to treat our patients. And the good news is that the regulators and other influential bodies are listening. And in fact, very recently there has been an announcement from the Gates Foundation, the Wellcome Trust, and the African Academy of Science to actually rewrite the good clinical practice code in a way that befits clinical trial that are run by investigators and they are more streamlined than what we are used to at the moment. So this is very important. We are also influencing the research priorities of the European Union. Health is already a problem, to put it in the forefront of the politician, but cardiovascular health is particularly a problem because there is the perception that the job is done, and we know that is not. So finally, we are advocating for patients and professionals, and this is something that I know is close to your heart as well. And for the first time, the ESC has started a patient forum, which will be our advocate, if you like, with the policy makers at the European Union, but also an important voice for our research priorities and within our guidelines. What I also want to tell you is that we started an initiative. You know, someone told me before, we don't have really good registries in Egypt. And this is something that is true in several countries, and particularly in countries where mortality for cardiovascular disease is still high, and where these registries are very important to monitor quality of care. So we are really extending the Sweetheart platform, you know, the continuous registry for the monitoring of clinical care across Europe, and I hope that Egypt will be interested in this activity. And as I said, both this will fulfill two aims. One, to have a monitoring of quality of care, and for the National Cardiac Society, and the other one, to provide an infrastructure to run such pragmatic clinical trials as I was describing before. Finally, I want to remind you of the investment in research and education of the society that will be over 2 million euros this year. And this is in the form of training grants, research grants, but also grants to attend the activities, the educational activities that are run by the European Heart Academy. And I will remind you that there are courses both for heart failure and arrhythmias, but also for health economics, for women leadership, and soon also with clinical trial methodology. And this is really to all of you who want to further their education in these fields. Please do take advantage of these opportunities. So finally, I want to thank you for all the help and the contribution that you give to the European Society of Cardiology. The society is a society of volunteers, so it relies on people and on your goodwill in helping us in all of these activities. And here you can see the smiling faces of your leadership of this society and all that really contribute very closely to the activity of the European Society of Cardiology in Nice. So finally, I hope I will see you all in Paris. In Paris, the theme of the Congress is global cardiovascular health. And so it really is pertinent, not just to the reality of Western Europe, but we really like to work together and understand together the problem that we all experience. So with that, thank you very much. I wish you a fantastic Congress. I'm sure it will be. And thank you for your hospitality.
Thank you, Professor Barber. And now we present the President of the American College of Cardiology, Professor Michael Valentine.
Good afternoon, and thank you for welcoming us. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, esteemed Governor, and esteemed guests, It is indeed an honor to be here with you again in this wonderful country of Egypt, the great country of builders. And so we would like to say thank you for having the American College of Cardiology here again. It is never easy to speak after Professor Cassidy, and somehow I always end up speaking after her. But here we'd like to say thank you and welcome to our partnership and our chapter here in Egypt and our partners. So with this, I'd like to say that the mission of the ACC, of course, is to transform cardiovascular care and improve heart health. The most interesting thing is our new vision, a vision where a world of innovation and knowledge optimize cardiovascular care and outcomes means our world is big and we are all together. We see this now more than ever. And we do this because our membership needs to grow from an international and global perspective. As you can see, the yellow line is our international and global partners joining. And so the biggest growth in our membership is you. It is you joining us together in partnerships to improve cardiovascular care and outcomes. It's like yesterday when I was speaking about STEMI care in developing countries. And I spoke last night with Dr. Shaheen, who will be running the global STEMI project for Egypt. It is indeed an honor to be able to partner and see if we can learn from each other and improve care together. As you know, we have 42 international chapters, including our great chapter in Egypt with great leadership. And we have members in 137 different countries, 15,000, now up to 18,000 international and global members and growing. Thank you for joining us in this partnership. Here's our mission and our goals for international and global work, and we are hoping to expand and be even better partners and friends here in the future. This is our Assembly of International Governors. As you can see, we have governor leaders from the Middle East, from Asia, from South America, and our next chair of the international governors is from Saudi Arabia. So we are proud to build this program with Africa and the Middle East and the United States together. These are our ideals and our goals, that number one, every decision is patient-centered, that we are striving for excellence and professionalism, and most important, here in Egypt, that we are much stronger through teamwork and collaboration with you, our partners, brothers and sisters. So ACC International, I would just invite you all to join us in partnership. I'll remind you that all fellows in training have free membership in the college. We have seen a dramatic uptake in the number of fellows in training who join us. And this also allows free membership into their first years of practice. So this is very important. We look forward to joining you more and more, especially in leadership development for our next generation and for STEMI networks where we can build and improve heart attack care around the world. So we want you to know that our job is to enhance our relationships, to serve our members, and to improve care of our patients. We thank you, we join you, we ask you to join us, and we are here as partners and friends, and we just want to say thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Shukran.
Thank you, Professor Michael. And now, with our very own President of the Egyptian Society of Cardiology, Professor Magdi Abdel Hamid.
Dear professors and colleagues, good morning and welcome to the annual 46th meeting of the Egyptian Society of Cardiology, CardioEgypt 2019. On behalf of the board members of the Egyptian Society of Cardiology, I'd like to thank our guests who came from all around the world to participate in this meeting. We are delighted to have you all here in Egypt, the land of civilization. It's also a pleasure to have Professor Michael Valentine, the president of the American College of Cardiology, Professor Barbara Cassidy, the president of the European Society of Cardiology, for joining us today in the opening ceremony. At first, allow me to thank Professor Hussam Andib, the chairman of this meeting, as well as the organizing committee for their great efforts to design and organize the program of this meeting. This program is planned to provide 4 days of comprehensive education in all fields related to cardiovascular disease, including hypertension, heart failure, intervention, prevention, and cardiovascular imaging, in addition to amazing sessions related to cardiovascular research and educational leadership programs for young cardiologists. Organized by the Egyptian Society of Cardiology, CardioEgypt is the largest meeting of cardiovascular science in the Middle East and Africa, gathering more than 5,000 of healthcare professionals from all over the globe. Since its establishment in 1951, the Egyptian Society of Cardiology had a clear vision to help preventing and treating cardiovascular diseases all over Egypt through advocacy, education, research, and patient awareness programs. For that, Egyptian Society of Cardiology is a main contributor in most of national and global cardiovascular-related activities. As for cardiovascular research and education, we are committed to raise the knowledge. We are committed to raise the knowledge level of our young cardiologists via taking part in a lot of international joint sessions, registries, partnerships all around the year. For example, we are actively engaged in all activities of the European Society of Cardiology, the American College of Cardiology, PCR, TCT, C3, and other international meetings. And this year, CardioEgypt is delighted to have many joint sessions with different prestigious societies, such as the Royal College, the ACC, ESCC, and the International Society of Prevention of Cardiovascular Disease. We also have our journal, in which our cut-edge research topics are regularly published with a free access 4 times a year. We are doing regularly patient awareness programs, such as Heart Failure Awareness Day, the World Hypertension Day, and in this regard, our efforts have been acknowledged internationally by organizations such as the World Heart Federation. For instance, here is when we were acknowledged by the World Heart Federation for illuminating the Great Giza Pyramids in red, celebrating the World Heart Day. CardioEgypt 2019 is an opportunity to learn and share the best practice, novel techniques, latest guidelines, clinical trials results, and the most recent innovations in cardiology. After all this, I'd like to say that we promise you of a meeting with a level up to the rank of our prestigious society and our majestic country of Egypt. With this, I will leave you with my best wishes for a fruitful meeting and enjoyable stay in our country. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Magd. Now, the Egyptian Society of Cardiology would like to provide an honorary life membership to Professor Barbara Cassidy. This is in recognition and sincere appreciation of outstanding efforts. This honor recognizes the commitment demonstrated towards cooperation between the European Society of Cardiology and the Egyptian Society of Cardiology. We would also like to provide an honorary life membership to Professor Michael Valentine. Now, CardioEgypt 2019 would like to present an honorary shield in recognition of your devotion and outstanding performance to Professor Barbara Cassidy. An honorary shield to Professor Rick Nishimura. An honorary shield to Professor Michael Valentine. An honorary shield to Professor Carl Warnes. We would like to thank you all, and we would like to enjoy this prestigious event.